Welcome everyone to the Nerd Nook. I'm your host, MT. With me, like always, is Noah Bailey. So, this past week, it was announced that Invincible Season 4 will be coming next March.
Yeah.
Yep. I appreciate them finally having a yearly release for this show, because that's good. More shows
Yeah. I
should
mean,
do that.
yeah. That's kind of the industry standard at this point. And I understand you want to we want to ensure the quality and make sure the animation looks good and get all the good voice acting. And they do have really good voice acting and stuff like that. But I'm like, also, it's only 8 episodes. We can't act like you're I don't maybe it's just what I've seen with anime and stuff. But I know live action is different also. But it's I don't know. You got to get it to get these hiatuses are crazy because we're only what 25 episodes into this whole show if you
Including
count the
the
Adam and Eve special,
yeah, it's 25.
right? So it's
Mhm.
I mean, I want to feel for it, but I'm also that's one season of a lot of shows. I mean, not anymore, but that's a lot for 4 years, I think,
Yeah,
at this point.
it's very good that we are definitely getting more of the show. That
Yeah,
I think
absolutely.
season 5 has already been confirmed, so that's even better. Hopefully that comes out in 2027. Um, but uh, just I know it would be structured very different. It'll be a different show, but just consider if this show were a prime time Cartoon Network or Disney XD show in from the mid 2010s. It would be at least 13 episodes a season. Granted, that each be 22 episodes each, but still, like 13 episode plus seasons. We'd get multiple seasons, potentially a year, even. It would be. I don't know. I appreciate that we're actually finally on a yearly schedule, but it's definitely interesting comparing this release schedule to previous, more TV centered shows in the same genre.
Hmm.
Yeah. It's
Yeah, it's hard because you want to root for it, you like it, and it does a lot of things really well. But yeah, I mean, I feel like my brother said that he's like, oh yeah, I forgot that show. You know what I mean? It's because so much happens in between seasons as far as other content coming out
mm-hmm.
that you just kind of forget. Oh yeah, this show's also going on, and it's it takes so much time to get right back into it and remember stuff, and then it's only 8 episodes and you don't hear from them for years at a time, it feels like. So
Mm-hmm. At least there's no break this time. So
probably, but I mean, we don't, is that confirmed? I don't know.
they in the special they made a joke about he's not taking a break this time, so
I guess, but
that's
I'm
good.
just I don't know. That was still the worst. I think that was still the worst call ever. It was just let's take a 3 month break in the middle of season 2 after how long it took to get to season 2. I was
Let's wait 2.5 years to release 4 episodes, and then wait 3 more months for 4 more episodes, which
that's what I'm
I
saying.
would argue aren't as good as the first 4 episodes of the
That's
season.
what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It was all that for just Angstrom stuff. And don't get me wrong, Angstrom's cool, but it's he's not that cool. It was not.
No.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean,
Especially when
there
we
were
don't
some
have the
really
rights to Spider-Man, so you had to make Agent Spider instead. And he's cool. It's voiced by Josh Keaton, so it's cool, but it's not the same thing. So it's not nearly as hype. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was cool, and they did the best they could given the circumstances, but it's also it is what it is. But
Yeah.
man, it's just, I don't know. I want it to be good, and I want to root for it, but I'm also just man, this is getting, I don't know, because I'm excited. It feels like a real something, because, it's we got, we saw storyboards for Thriving, and that's really awesome, but it's
Mm-hmm.
also how much is he actually going to be in the season? Is it going to be him just kind of there in the background. Like, what's like, I don't know. I feel like we don't really know what's gonna happen this season, which is good, but also
Yeah.
like, I don't know. It's hard to get people excited because like, oh, what's gonna happen? Stuff like probably Viltrumite stuff. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. that I mean, that was kind of the I liked season 3, but I do feel like it was a little unfocused. Like the last 2 episodes were really, really good. However, I feel like the whole season didn't really lead up to either of them. Yeah, there were a couple of mentions of something coming, some person coming to check your progress or whatever. But I think it was mentioned maybe twice before the last episode, and then all the stuff with the Invincible War. Not that you have to build
Right.
an entire season around that, because it's like even kind of the point of the original comic run is that it's kind of a subversion of the like Infinite Crisis and Infinity War type thing, where it is like it was kind of like billed as this big event, and then it turned out to be like 2 issues. So that's kind of funny. So like I'm okay with it just being one episode, but when those 2 episodes are really the only thing I remember really happening from last season, I don't know. It just
Yeah.
like I remember a little bit, so it didn't weren't nearly as exciting as those last 2 episodes, which in a vacuum are fine, but if nothing really leads into them that effectively, it just feels a little dull by comparison. But I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's like they're a big moment, but I mean, there's always gonna be the like not as entertaining episodes. But I mean, it was. I mean, I did like when we kind of went back to see what is it, Titan and how he's doing things. I thought that was pretty
Mhm.
cool. I also like the whole. I mean, I think Powerplex's whole thing was a nice little perspective too, because it is something cool to think about, like, oh, the aftermath of crazy stuff going on. It's like,
Mhm.
now granted, I feel like the fact that he was like working on working for the GDA and like clearly could see Invincible was innocent and then being like, no, it's your fault was kind of dumb.
Yeah.
But is also, I mean, I guess he's kind of deranged anyway, so I guess it kind of works
Yeah.
out. But yeah, I mean, it was a good season. It was very solid. It's just again, when you have these breaks and these gaps and other shows that are just firing off great content left and right, and we have 10 other things come out in between seasons, it's kind of like you got to keep up or get left behind.
Yeah. Now, granted, if someone is just in the future after it's all over is going to be binging the show, not going to be those gaps unless they
Yeah,
specifically cause those gaps. So it's you know as a whole, I'm sure it's gonna be a very good show. But when you're living in the moment and you're super anticipating stuff, like I said, I do appreciate them finally getting having that yearly release starting in March and then releasing the next March as well. So like that's good. But I don't know that just the burn of that 4 episodes after 2.5 years and then a break, then 4 more. It's just that will always just kind of be there.
yeah, I think people are never gonna forget that because that was just devastating, and people are just like, bro.
Yeah, but next March, so yeah, that's good. From what I understand, there is going to be like a lot of pretty cool things happening this season. Battle Beast is going to be a bigger character, and we really like Battle Beast here. I assume Omni Man is going to come back to Earth, and then other Ultramites are going to come to Earth. It's going to be a problem. So yeah,
Yeah. No, I'm excited. Yeah, I mean, again, it's been set up very well. There's a lot going into this, and I can really see it. But I'm also just like, I mean, you just gotta come on while the iron's hot. You know what I'm saying? Like, the
yeah.
longer we wait before, hey, oh, they're gonna wait for this real night, we gotta get it going.
Mm. Okay, moving over to a shorter, but I think very funny little news bit here. Um, Apple TV Plus has officially rebranded as just Apple TV. I don't know. I found that funny. Like
Was it not just Apple TV earlier?
it was so Apple sells TVs called Apple TVs,
Right.
and then Apple TV Plus is their streaming service.
I thought the streaming service just came with if you had Apple TVs,
It
and then it
might,
was like also
but
okay. Maybe that is a different. I didn't know. I don't
Apple
know. I
TVs
think
come
it's.
with Apple TV Plus, and then if you buy an iPhone, you get like a month of Apple TV Plus for free or
I
whatever. And
still
it's
I still have yet to know anyone who actually purchased Apple TV Plus.
like I, a lot of the shows that come out of that are good. However, I don't know who's watching them because I don't know anyone actually anyone actually has it. Like
That's what I'm saying. I'm
apparently
like, it's
Severance
like
is really good.
that's what I'm
I
saying.
don't know
Like
anyone personally who's seen it.
that's what I'm saying. I hear Severance is good. I see heard Ted Lasso is good,
Mhm.
and that is all I've heard. And I don't know because I'm not watching. I don't know anyone who has it. Maybe certain people do. I don't know, but I don't know. I
Mhm.
feel like that's like the 10th streaming service, and I feel like that's like the one people were like, "Yeah, I'm not getting another one."
Yeah, actually, kind of roping back to the discussion we were just having. Severance is a perfect example of a show that is really, really good that had a massive hiatus between seasons. Not to the point where people stopped caring, but to the point where people kind of,
Yeah,
thought it
whatever.
wasn't coming back. They were starting to forget what was happening. Like just, yeah, like it just kind of, it's weird how this show went on. I think it was at least a 2 year hiatus, at least, only to come back with I think 8 episodes, and it was a good 8 episodes, but now you gotta wait for who knows how long before another 8 episodes, as opposed to something I saw someone compare it to Breaking Bad, where like if it were released on AMC or some mainstream network channel and it was a yearly release, I feel like it could have a very similar cult following like a Lost or a Breaking Bad did, where like every week you come back and just anticipating this, this next reveal of this, with more of the mystery and whatever. But how it is right now, like I don't think it's released all at once, but it's still. I feel like 8 episodes just isn't enough to you know, to really get people that invested over, so over many weeks to then wait 3 years or however long just to get 8 more episodes. I don't know. It's just definitely a choice, especially when that's one
Yeah,
of
it
the
is
only things
a
people get Apple
choice.
TV for. Right.
Yeah, it's definitely a choice. But yeah, wait, how long has it been between seasons? Did you say? I'm
I
sorry.
think Severance season one was 22, and season three was earlier this
This,
year. So I think almost three
yeah,
years.
yeah, 3 year gap on a streaming service that already a lot of people aren't using is kind of self sabotage, to be honest.
And you know, I wouldn't be surprised if it's one of those things where Apple is I believe at this point they are $1 trillion company. And I understand that it's not just, oh, you sell, 10 million iPhones or whatever. Actually, probably a lot more than that. You sell like, so many millions of iPhones every year. So you can make these things that lose money. That's not really how business works. You ideally want every piece of your business to make money. But
Hmm.
maybe they don't really care that much. That Apple TV isn't really making them up, boatloads of money. In fact, it's actually seemingly losing them money because, you know, there are all of these shows and movies that are costing a lot of money that no one's watching. Who knows? Maybe the rebrand for Apple TV Plus to just Apple TV will help ease confusion. I guess is that what they were concerned about? I don't know. Maybe they were like, oh, it's too close to Disney Plus, or it's too not as it's too much of a mouthful to say, which it is. I don't know.
I mean, it's. I don't think it really matters personally.
Eh. Anyway, moving on. This is an interesting one. The one bit of DC news that I have here. Apparently, there's going to be a Batman Knightfall 4-part animated movie.
Oh, okay. I have many questions, but please continue.
That's all I have. I
Okay.
think it's being released to the first part is coming out next year, but it's 4-part
Okay.
Knightfall saga.
Do we know like who's on it,
Nope,
who's in it,
not that
anything?
I'm aware of.
It's animated Batman Nightfall. That's it.
Yes.
Okay.
So I've just off the
You
top
said
just a
four
couple of.
parts?
We'll get to that. Just off the
Okay.
top, just a couple of like just immediate comments. First, I am very okay with the DC animated movies not having this overarching plot line, this overarching universe.
Absolutely.
They never needed that. Like,
No.
I like the Long Halloween movie, but it's a little awkward that's like in this other universe that
Yeah.
so it had to conform to that art style, and it was just a little not. It wasn't bad. It was just I feel you could do more with the whole with Long Halloween, and the fact that it had to be shoehorned into this universe you were setting up was a little awkward. So I'm very
Yeah.
okay with them just making animated movies about whatever art style
Right.
with whoever plays whoever. Like I'm very fine with that. Um, but speaking of the Long Halloween was a two-parter. What the heck are they gonna do with 4 parts for Nightfall?
Yeah. I mean, that's a lot. I mean, assuming we're saying what, like an hour and a half each. I mean, we're looking at 6 hours of story, which like you could make it that long, but I'm like, it's also animated, so I'm like,
Yeah, most
that doesn't feel like
are
it
about
needs to be
70
that
to
long.
90 minutes. Like I guess the first part you introduce Bane, and then the end of that Batman loses. The second
Yeah.
part, Azrael takes over. We got to introduce him at some point. So I guess him, his backstory in the second one, he takes over, and then in the third one, you have the like all of like Azrael, Nightwing, and the other people like fighting over the cowl. And then
Yeah.
the fourth one, Batman gets his run back. I guess is that a
I
whole movie?
guess. But even that's like doing a lot. Because you could argue I mean, you could make those independent movies, but I mean, just stories entirely. So I feel like even though they're closely related, I feel like you could do Battle for the Cow without, I mean, not without Nightfall, but I feel like that concept on its own could be its own movie, completely separate, just slightly adjusted.
Yeah,
But I
I don't
mean,
know.
4 part is a lot.
It's a lot of parts.
This feels like they're. I don't. Does this feel like they're just throwing ideas out and then they're just like, yeah, just tell the public to stir up excitement? And I'm like,
It
I
would be
just
it's
this
one of those
feels
things
very unorganized.
you wouldn't settle on 4 unless the director had a layout for 4 parts.
That's what I'm saying.
My
But it's
biggest fear would be them doing something like they did with the Killing Joke, where they added a random 30-minute
yes,
Batgirl
that
short
is
at the beginning,
exactly what I'm
which
thinking.
sucks.
Yes, completely pointless. It wasn't even. Yeah, it was like, and especially the part where like Barbara's not even in the rest of the movie after
Till she
being
gets shot.
this the sole focus of the first 30 minutes, even though this isn't really her story outside of kind of getting paralyzed.
Mhm.
So it's very like,
It was
okay,
just
what are we
Bruce
doing this
Timm being
for?
like, I like it when Barbara Gordon kisses Batman for some reason. So I'm gonna make that into my movie. Like,
Yeah, that
stop that.
was, yeah,
Bruce Timm,
we
stop
just,
it.
like this, sir. This is a Wendy's.
Like
Like,
whenever Paul Dini isn't around to rope him in, like he always gets Barbara Gordon to
it's a
fart with that. Like
little too
even
far.
even in Cape Crusaders, like oh Bruce Timm is directing this, and Barbara Gordon gotta have a little fling. Like okay, sure.
Wait a minute, wait a minute.
At least in that show, like they're around the same age. Still, like
Yeah, but like it was less crazy, but
yeah.
still annoying.
So like
But
my biggest fear is that they're gonna add a bunch of random other stuff into this just to pad it out. Which like if it's good, that's fine. But like when you're not working from source material, sometimes kind of people tend to go a little crazy with it. So I don't know.
yeah, I we gotta figure that. I don't know. We'll see how that goes, but I mean, in theory, that's a good idea because I feel like it's been, ever since the whole Crisis on Infinite, like Tomorrowverse ending thing. I
That
feel like
was three
animated movies.
parts. Crisis
Yeah,
was three parts.
I know. Which, to be honest, was the most confused over. I did, dude. Did you watch all of those, man?
I've seen enough clips on YouTube to basically piece together the plot.
Bro, the plot was annoying because it was like, I don't know, like. First of all, the entire Tomorrowverse annoys me because it's like they decide to make all the movies into one continuity and then don't do that. They do a Superman movie, a Flash movie, Batman, and then they just skip to like 10 years deep into Justice League.
Yep.
And I'm just like, we've already got multiple Green Lanterns. Everybody, apparently, Hal
Legion of
Jordan's been doing his thing
Superheroes. We're already
forever.
going to the future. Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, we're on the future, Legion of Super, like all this stuff, and like they just also that Green Lantern movie was so annoying. I hated
Yeah.
that. But
Have you
it's just
seen
like,
Justice League War World?
yes, it's
That
terrible. I
is one
forgot
of
about
the
it.
worst movies I have ever seen.
Yeah, it makes no sense. It's terrible.
Not
I
only does it make no
forgot.
sense, it is
It's not a Justice
unfathomably
League movie.
boring.
It is incredibly. They're not even. I mean, and nothing is explained. Like it's the not explained. It just starts. Like I thought it was the wrong movie, but I knew it was right because of the animation style. But I'm like, this
Jonah
is
Hex
so
stuff? Is this War World? This is Jonah Hex.
right.
Like, what are we doing here?
Right. I'm just like, I guess like, uh. Anyway, like yeah, the part where like I feel like ever since then, like we one of the negatives of the success of the MCU is that everyone wants to have a continuity universe where every single thing connects and every single movie is this. But the problem is they don't want to take the time to really establish it, build connections, and do. They just want to throw movies together and say, yeah, this all happened in the same universe. And
Mm-hmm.
honestly, they don't need to do that unless they're really going to commit to it. And with DC movies, a lot of the best DC movies, I would say all the best DC movies outside of like Death of Superman, are completely not related to each other. They're just
Yeah.
movies based on really good comic stories.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Or
that's
even
what you're into. Like,
Soul and Arkham, that's like kind of related to the Arkham universe,
yeah,
but it's not.
I mean,
You don't have
but
to do
that's
the
not.
reading in order to
Yeah, I
understand
mean
it.
that one, but it's like that easily could be its own thing. I mean, yes, it's very heavily, based on Arkham games, but it's also
Mm,
like, I mean, that could easily just be anything.
yeah, but Public Enemies, which technically is like kind of, or what's it called? The next one, I mean, Superman Apocalypse is like kind of technically a sequel to Public Enemies, but different art styles.
But
So it doesn't
it's
like
not though.
but they're both really good. It doesn't really matter which
Yeah,
is
that's what I'm saying.
better.
Like they're both really good. They're very different art, completely different art styles, but both very good, very solid writing. They make,
Mm-hmm.
for what they are, they just do one movie, one story. That's it. Under the Red Hood does one
Yep.
story. It does it very well and nothing else. And you
Justice
don't
League
have, you know
Doom's
what I
like
mean?
kind of a successor to the cartoon, but do you have Hal Jordan instead of John Stewart? So is it really the
Yeah,
same
but it's
thing?
like
No. So it
that's
doesn't.
what I'm saying. It's like I mean, and I know a lot of these were in theory set to be continuations originally but it's like when the final product comes out, it's not intended to exactly be it's not like like the Fatal Five, like Justice League Fatal Five, for
Mm,
example, is legit supposed to be like from the cartoon because it's the
yeah.
same animation style, same voice actors, and everything is basically the same, except now they can kill people because it's not TVY7,
Yeah.
but
But then you have Crisis on Two Earth, which apparently was originally pitched as
right.
in between Justice League and Unlimited, but then they changed some stuff to make it its own thing, which is completely
Which is
fine. It's a good
fine.
movie.
Yeah. But the point is, it doesn't have to all be this interconnected universe. And I feel like this is a good example. Like, I feel like this is a good, like, yeah, we can just do a very popular story, which kind of surprisingly hasn't gotten like a movie adaptation, really. I mean, you could kind of, there's elements of it with, like, what is it, Bad Blood, kind of, with
Dark
Batman
Knight
missing, but it's
Rises,
like,
kind of.
kind of, but not really. Like, it's very, eh, you know.
Yeah. Like, we've never had Azrael in anything outside of, like, one mission in Arkham City. Like, that was about it.
Yeah, exactly.
But so I imagine he's going to show up in this. But, um, but yeah, I don't want this to lead into any other grander universe necessarily, unless like no, I'm gonna say I don't want this to be
Yeah, no,
grand. Just
it
make
doesn't need to
just take
be.
a comic and just make it, you know, just make a
Do
movie.
it
Like
good. Yeah.
that's one reason why like you mentioned Death of Superman. I really like that movie relative, especially relative to other New 52 stuff. Um, and it's almost like kind of a part of me kind of wishes that it wasn't a part of a grander universe, but also if you just drop into that movie, you're not really missing
Hmm.
anything. So
Right.
it's fine.
Yeah.
However, ironically, I think I'll argue the only other good D52 movie was Suicide Squad: Hell to Pay. That one is also really good, but like you kind of have to have seen Flashpoint Paradox in order to
Yeah.
really understand it. But like that's
Yeah, but
you've
to
probably
be
seen
fair,
it.
that plot point was kind of like a complete twist that wasn't really. I mean, it's a main focus of the movie, as in it's Zoom's whole like motivation slash explanation, but also it's like all. I mean, you don't. I mean, at that point, it had been like, I mean, how many years since that Flashpoint movie came out? So I mean, it's
Six,
not
five
like
or six, yeah.
I I would argue that wasn't necessarily required watching for enjoying that movie. While it
Mm,
is obviously Zoom's main motivation to get the card in the first place, the movie is still awesome, regardless.
absolutely. So yeah, I'm very curious. I'm curious what that third movie is gonna be. Like, are they gonna do the like? I guess the second one is gonna it would be Azrael taking over,
Mm.
and then the third one would be Nightwing and the others seeing that he's doing a bad job. But I feel that should be kind of the same movie. Then what's the fourth one? Like the fourth one just all Batman coming. Like, are we not gonna have a whole movie of Nightwing or anyone else being like the I don't know. Um,
Yeah,
four seems
yeah,
like a lot
just
is what I'm getting at.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like just announcing it as four movies straight up is like insane.
Yeah,
But
but
again, if it's done very well, hey, we'll see. But again, I don't know if this is gonna be like kitty animated, like those Batman Animal Attack movies or whatever. I don't know if
oh
this is gonna be
no,
like like probably not because this feels like this is most famous for Batman getting paralyzed over the front of Bane's knee, so it's like it's probably gonna be violent, but like I mean, and plus it helps to show it's gonna be violent with like obviously Azrael and probably things going poorly with that. So we'll have to see.
like a part of me like I have issues here and there with the new 52 art style with like individual character designs, but the overall art style I actually like that style quite a bit. Honestly, like it's very reminiscent of Young Justice. So in that case, just kind of do Young Justice art style. Like, yeah, I feel like something that looks more kind of like that would probably, at least in my head, work the best for this. But who knows?
That would be pretty good. Also, I feel like a Young Justice movie. I know. So You probably know, but there's a video game that's supposed to take place between Young Justice season 1 and 2 to kind of fill
Oh,
in some of the gaps. But obviously, it did not do well. Nobody played it because, first of all, it looked very, very poor.
is
But
Jason Todd in there at all?
I don't remember.
Okay.
Probably, I don't know. But it explains the whole like when Tula dies and that which turns Aqualad, et
Oh, I thought
cetera.
that was
Whole thing.
it was a game.
Yeah, I know. It's like I think it is. It
Oh,
might be a comic too, but I know it's actually a video game. Like I've
hmm.
seen some of it at least back
Mhm.
in the day. So I'm like, maybe they could have. Like I know Young Justice is done, which is probably for the best because it
At this
is
point,
with
maybe.
every
Yeah.
season it has seemingly gotten worse and worse in my opinion.
Hmm.
But I don't know. I'm like, I just thought of random stuff. And I know that's obviously connected to something else, but I was just like, oh, that'd be something interesting to do. Maybe like a last hurrah, maybe like a,
Maybe like
kind
a
of like
send
a
off movie.
kind of like a Tales of the Jedi esque, like not in terms of like short stories, but like a throwing something in between 2 points
Hmm.
kind of deal. So I think that would be interesting. But that's
Yeah.
something I just randomly thought of. But yeah, like there's a lot of really good stories that you can make DC movies on, which I feel like are very underutilized. I feel like DC has always had better animation
Hmm.
stuff. Just because, like, I understand there's some like good Marvel shows and stuff like that, but like, as far as like TV shows and especially like direct to digital movies and stuff like that, I feel like DC's always had the upper hand. So I'm like, yeah, like get do some more of these stories. Like, why are there like there's no like why is Flashpoint the only Flash story we know? Like, can we not get any other good
Apparently,
ones? Like,
considering the Flash movie was kind of that, but also not.
yeah, but it's like one Flashpoint you have to set it up for it to make any sense, and two,
Yeah.
there's more to it than that. Like
Hmm.
there's more stories we could use. I mean, I really think I feel like Green Lantern movies, like especially First Flight, is a very underrated Green Lantern
Hmm.
movie. It's really done well. It's just it doesn't have to be this entire. Just make a good
Yeah.
movie.
I think you
Like
could do a Blackest Night without having to set anything up. You could
yes.
just, who these characters are, just drop it in. Like, yeah.
And I think that's the thing. I feel like a lot of times these movies either do too much setup or they just don't write the movie and just be like, oh, nerds will get it. And I'm like, yes, but you have to write the movie correctly. Like, you
Yeah.
can't, like, because especially with those crisis movies, it was like, yeah, we're just going to throw stuff at the wall. And I'm just like, I understand that these characters are, but like, you got to write the movie. So you can't just be like,
Mm.
oh, yeah, the Spectre stuff, and then like, okay, but like
Who is that?
that's right. Well, it's like, you know what I mean? It's like I get it, but it's like you got to do more than that. You still have to write a story. You can't just
Hmm.
throw mystical BS at the wall and then it just works. Like
Right.
I don't know. So that's my thoughts, but yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. The Spectre is one of those DC characters that, like, I know of. I've seen stuff like, even he even shows up in Batman Brave and the Bold.
Hmm.
So, like, I know the character, but like every time he shows up, I'm like, what are you? Like, what is your what is your whole thing? Like, are you even like corporeal? Are you like they are you like are you a Nexus B? Like what are you? I don't know. I don't know. Like, is he a
Yeah,
character?
I
Is
mean,
he an idea? Like what are you?
that's what I'm saying. I think some kind of like celestial entity. I don't. It doesn't. I don't know. They're all kind of in the same
Hmm.
that like I don't know. It's like whatever gets involved, that's how you know whatever happened probably isn't going to really happen. Whatever that gets involved, it's like okay, some kind of universe wiping, universe rewinding type shenanigans is about to take place.
Yeah.
It's like those characters that are just for writers where they write themselves in a corner and they're like, all right, how do we get out of here?
Uh, that was that was kind of Adam Strange in the original Infinity War comic, the
Yeah.
Expanded Gauntlet comic, because like they realized, oh, they snapped half the world gone, and now the heroes they had left kind of sucked, so they had to make this new character who was strong enough to wield the gauntlet and bring everyone back. I'm like,
Hmm.
Okay. And then people got like weirdly upset at at James Gunn teasing Adam at the end of Guardians 2 and then him not being in the Infinity War movie or Endgame. It's like this movie's not about him. It shouldn't like he didn't need to be in the comics in the first place. He could have just written around him. It would have been fine. So, granted, I think probably Adam Warlock could have been a little implemented a little better into Guardians 3, but like you got the we got him eventually, so it's fine. Um, but yeah, that kind of seems to be a similar thing with the Spectre. Um, but yeah, I'm pretty sure the first Knightfall part is coming out next year, but not
So is this
exactly
gonna be
sure.
4 years in a row and four different movies? Because I'm like,
I
that
mean, they released
sounds.
multiple parts. I think the Long Halloween released like a couple of months apart. So I
Oh, okay.
actually let me see if I can just look it up because it might be like all in 2027, but not exactly sure. Release date. Okay, the first part's coming out next year. That's yeah.
That's all we got.
Okay, so I'm hoping at least two parts come out next year. Okay, cool. All right. Moving over to Disney stuff. Did you see the trailer for the Wonder Man show?
I did not know.
This so Wonder Man is a character I know nothing
Hmm.
about. Any Marvel fan who claims to know anything about this character is lying. They don't. The only thing to know is what is said on Wikipedia when they're researching the character to try to sound smarter than you.
Yeah.
So I know literally nothing about the character. I don't know his power set. I just know that he's somehow kind of related to Scarlet Witch in like a very weird way. That's just kind of what I know. Apparently, there was like some in the comics something about the way when White Vision was being developed, they used Wonder Man as like a prototype or like a base for him or something. That's all I know. All I know is what was on Wikipedia. So I don't know what his powers are. I don't know his backstory. I just know that there's a guy named Wonder Man who was a Marvel character. So the premise
Okay.
of this show is seemingly very interesting. So the conceit is in the Marvel universe, there was a movie in the 80s called Wonder Man. It was like a schlocky, 70s, 80s space adventure superhero thing. And now 40 years later, the same director is coming back wanting to remake the Wonder Man movie in but it's still set in the MCU. So Trevor
Wait,
from Iron Man
wait.
3
So wait, we're gonna
yeah,
so we're gonna make a movie in real life that's gonna be a movie in the movie universe.
seemingly,
They're
I
doing
guess.
Lightyear, is what I'm hearing. They're doing Lightyear.
No, so the show is so far from what I can see about from the trailer. So I wouldn't be surprised if all of the stuff from the trailer were just like the first episode. Um, the show is about the production of this movie. So it's like what we've seen so far. So it's like it's kind of meta so far, and the main character is the guy who literally is Wonder Man in the comics. Like that guy tries out for the role of Wonder Man. And Trevor, the guy, the fake Mandarin from Iron Man 3, who is an actor, he is also like trying out for a role in the movie. And the trailer ends with with Wonder Man, with the actor who's going to play Wonder Man getting a call back and like going to the set and like yeah, it's definitely interesting.
What are we doing, chat? Like, I mean, do we really care? I mean, I don't know. This feels very like we got nothing better to do.
it, so on paper, I kind of like the idea of a like a more like a, something set in the Marvel universe that is a completely different thing. Like it's a little more meta. It's like it's not about, at least on paper, not about superheroes. It's about a more mundane thing that is still set in this grander universe. I have a feeling the back half of the show will get crazy, but at least what we've seen so far is a little more mundane, and a part of me kind of likes that. Um, but it's definitely it's it's definitely interesting. Let's leave it. It's definitely interesting. I don't know if it's good or bad yet. I just know that it is interesting.
And that interesting, definitely a word that comes to mind. But I'm just so lost. I'm just like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, just like why? I don't know. This feels very. We're doing this just because. Like this doesn't seem like it has a real reason for doing this. Just to like throw more things. I don't know. Maybe they're. I don't know. Maybe I have to see it again. But I'm like, I don't know.
I mean,
It
if
feels like this has nothing to do with. This feels like this has nothing to do with the universe.
well, if what I read on Wikipedia is true and they're sticking to that, and Wonder Man is somehow connected to Scarlet Witch and White Vision, the VisionQuest show is coming out next year as well, and that also involves White Vision. Like Wonder Man could be involved with that in some capacity.
See, I feel like that all needs to be the same thing if it's going to be connected. We can't be doing three different shows to like build. I don't know. This it feels like we're just grabbing at straws to get more stuff out here. Because it's like really we're making a whole show with a chance for it to be connected to another show
It should have come
from
out three
a
years ago.
right.
White Vision show should have come out 3 years ago.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, we are so far from WandaVision at this point. Like, what are we doing? Like,
Mhm.
I don't even remember. All I remember about White Vision is the ship of Theseus, and that is literally it, or Theseus,
Yeah.
or whatever it is. Like, I'm so lost on
Mm-hmm.
all of that.
All I remember is that White Vision got all the memories of Vision and then shot up into the sky, and that was the last we
Yeah,
saw of him.
that's what I'm saying. Which is like not, which is basically nothing. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just kind of like.
Apparently, White Vision or the VisionQuest show was also going to be somewhat of a continuation of Agatha because they casted a character for Billy, the twin that wasn't in Agatha. Is that Tommy?
Oh, right.
With
Yeah.
Speed, whichever one that is. Um, so I assume we're gonna have a little family reunion of at least Vision and the twins. Um, Agatha may or may not show up in some capacity. We know that Ultron in some capacity is also going to show up in Vision Quest, which something I've kind of been wanting from Marvel for a while is to bring him back in some capacity because it's kind of a thing in the comics that Ultron never really goes away. He just kind of goes dormant for a while and then finds a way back. So
Yeah.
it makes sense for him to show up in a Vision thing. So
Cool, I guess. I
well,
don't know,
yes.
man. It's just hard. I don't know. Like, I don't want to say it's hard to care, but it's like I don't know, man. Like we're really like it feels like we're just putting as many projects out as we can before the plug gets pulled. You know what I mean?
Yeah, kinda.
Right?
Like there are
'Cause
still
it's like
definitely characters that I would want have done over Wonder Man, Like we haven't gotten
Yes.
a Nova show. That it feels like that was something that was pitched
Talked
back in like
about
2019, just kind of never
and
happened. Like
just
that's a
nothing.
character people know and like.
Yeah, more than Wonder Man. I mean,
Yeah.
like, don't get me wrong. I don't know. Like, I understand that part of the MCU's thing is to take characters no one's heard of and make them more household names. Because you definitely did that with the Guardians of the Galaxy. You tried to do that with the Eternals, and it didn't
Yeah.
work. But that's not really the characters. Well, I think
Yeah.
that was just a
Even Black
very poorly
Panther, I would
written
argue, is a
movie.
much way bigger name now than
Well, absolutely.
before.
I mean, even Iron Man. I mean, nobody
Yeah.
before 2008 is like, yeah, Iron Man's a great superhero.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? So
Yep.
I don't know. Like it's, I get it, but like at this point, we're really just because again, like we have so many. Like it feels like we're just starting projects in random branches in different directions, and then not finishing anything. Like we still have nothing with Shang-Chi. It has been how long since that movie came
We
out?
know he's gonna show up in Doomsday, which is 5 years after his
I don't
movie.
know. Like, what has he been doing? Like, for five. So he's just been waiting and chilling for 5 years? That's
He
what
was
you're
in
telling
an
me?
episode of What If, which doesn't count.
No, that's not even canon. Like, what is that even?
Yeah.
Who cares? Like, I mean, not who cares, but like, that's not even part. I mean, that's what I'm saying.
Hmm.
Like, nothing with Shang-Chi. The scroll thing, we're just gonna pretend didn't happen all of a sudden, even though that was the biggest thing ever.
I genuinely think they're gonna try Secret Invasion again at some point.
That's
Like,
what like. I understand it didn't make the numbers that you wanted to, but you can't just pretend this didn't happen. There's so much that changed that you can't just be like, oh yeah, like that's like if Infinity, for some reason, if Infinity War didn't do well, not that it wouldn't, but it's like
mhm.
if Infinity War, it'd just be like, oh yeah, we just never mentioned the snap ever again, and I'm
Yeah.
just like,
Granted, I think
no,
they should
that
mention more than they have since, but
that's what I'm
still,
saying.
it has
Because it's
been
like
mentioned
I
some.
like granted, yes, like when big things happen, you don't always mention it, but like it should come up more than a few times.
Yeah.
Like it should come up pretty. I mean, that was a big, especially if you made it 5 years for some reason, which I
Yeah.
still don't understand why you just didn't make it 1 year, just like in real life. So everything just matched up, and you didn't have to explain why people are randomly older.
Hmm. I don't know.
Made it way more difficult to explain stuff.
Yeah. But like considering the president lost the next election because of how he responded to the secret invasion, which is also crazy because wartime presidents usually win elections, but that
Yep.
whatever. He lost off screen, so it doesn't matter. You think it would be a talking point, a one sentence somewhere in Captain America: Brave New World,
Anywhere.
somewhere. Nope.
Yeah, they just don't talk about it for some reason, and I'm like,
Mhm.
what? Why? Why aren't you talking?
Um,
No idea. But
yep. But
yeah, but
whatever.
that's kind of why. Say again, sorry.
No, I was just I don't know. Like hopefully most of our qualms will be quashed by Doomsday and Secret Wars, but
But will they though?
I don't know.
Will they?
I don't know.
I don't know. I guess we'll see. But I'm just
Yeah.
kind of like, I don't know. It feels like, yeah, like we're just doing stuff just to do stuff. Like there's not a real, I don't know. It feels very unorganized. Because I guess my thing is like, I understand we got this big Avengers movie coming on, but it's like, I don't know. Is that going to be the last time we see everybody again for the next 5 years? Like, I don't
Maybe.
know. Like,
Yeah. Although I will say next year, like Wonder Man could be a hit. It could be a weird little blip, but like outside of Wonder Man, which comes out in January, next year is looking like it might actually be like really good for Marvel because we have
yeah,
Wonder Man, which could be whatever. We have the Daredevil season 2,
right,
which is going to be full on back with the original directors, that original
right.
style. Like Season 1 was pretty solid for for what it was, but this is
but
going to be like
season
the
two
real
is gonna,
deal.
yeah,
And then we have Spider-Man.
yes, very exciting.
Yes, and then after that we have a Punisher special. I would I think they should have been doing more of those one shots because they did like two and then stopped for some reason. They should have been doing more of those. So I appreciate them having Punish like an actual Punisher one shot special. That's cool. And then I feel like there might be one other movie, but I can't place what it even might be. But then Doomsday is the end of the year. Blade probably not next year, but it might be. I feel like there's Vision Quest. Yeah, Vision Quest is also I think has potential. So like all in all, like you know that's a pretty solid lineup.
Yeah. I, I mean, yeah, and obviously it's gonna be big with like the movies coming out. But I don't know. I guess for me, I'm just kind of like, I don't know. It feels very what are we doing? I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Um, anything else I want to bring about that topic? Yeah, well, we'll see. Although it is going to be nice knowing that next year we're going to have like a pretty competent year for both Marvel and DC. Because next year we're going to have at least Green Lanterns and Supergirl. So
Yes,
and
that I'm
Clayface,
excited about.
Clayface movie. That's also might be good.
That I'm kind of like okay, but no,
Yeah,
I am excited. Like the way I feel like Lanterns is really gonna like make or break how I see this because it's like if they do this really well, I'm sold.
right. Because the first three projects in the new DC universe are all James Gunn stuff: Creature Commands,
Hmm.
Superman, Peacemaker. So this next year is gonna be he's pretty much completely hands off outside of just greenlighting the
Oversight.
projects.
Yeah.
So this is gonna be a real test of like, can this universe work when it's not by the same person? You know. So we'll see. Last topic I have here. Microsoft has been making a lot of weird decisions lately when it comes to their Xbox. So the one that I'm going to focus on the most, that's most recent here. Xbox Game Pass Ultimate increased its price recently. It went from
Hmm.
about $20 a month up to $30 a month,
Yes.
which is a lot.
Agreed.
To put that in perspective, that went up from around $250 a month after like tax and whatever to over $360 a month. Sorry, a year.
Yeah.
$250 a year to $360 a year. To put that number in perspective, the most expensive version of Nintendo Online is a Nintendo, like the single most expensive thing you can pay Nintendo to play online is the Nintendo Online Expansion Pack Family Edition,
Hmm. That's
which
what, 80
is
bucks?
75.
Yeah, it's like so yeah, it's something yeah. I have that. It's not that expensive.
Even if it were, let's say 80, just because we're not sure. It's pretty sure it's 75.
Yeah.
Let's say 80 just to give them benefit. $80 a year for the most expensive version of that. So up to 8 people can play online and play all them in a
Yeah.
server, whatever. As opposed to $30 a month, which Game Pass is a pretty, is a lot of stuff on there. But at that point, just buy the games you want to buy. Like,
Oh.
I don't,
Yeah.
I couldn't possibly fathom spending over $360 for Xbox games. Like that's just, I don't think that's gonna happen. Like, I wouldn't like I played Call of Duty last year just because I have Game Pass and it was on there, so I played it, but I wouldn't have bought it. Um, but also I don't think that's $30 worth of value. Like there's a lot of other first party games that come there, but you're spending that much money to basically rent those games until you cancel the service. So I don't know. I don't understand how Microsoft, who is currently losing the console race badly, by the way, we'll get more to that in just a second, why they would increase the price so much to get rid of the last bit of goodwill Xbox had. Because that was their main trump card. $20 a month to play all the Xbox exclusives along with a bunch of other third party games and like a massive library of stuff you didn't even know you wanted to play, all there for $20 a month. Now at 30, it's one thing to be like, oh, Nintendo is raising the price from 60 to 70 or even $80 for games, which most of them are 70, but one of them is 80 stuff they focus on. That's for one game. It's 10 to 20-ish dollars extra for one game at a time.
Yes.
Which Microsoft and Sony have upped their prices to 70 for over 5 years now. So like, yeah, I don't know. But 10 extra bucks a month is a lot of money when you're already hemorrhaging, especially when like people are already not buying Xboxes because the Xboxes themselves have also massively increased their prices.
Yes.
Before, you could get an Xbox Series S for $299 and an Xbox Series X for $500. After over the past 6 months, there's been 2 different price hikes. After the 2 different price hikes, the Series S is now $400 and the Series X is now $600.
Now?
Now,
why?
Granted, PlayStation has also increased their prices by $50 across the board, so the Slim model is 50 or $450. The one with the disc drive is $550, and the PS5 Pro is $750.
Yeah.
Like, you can blame tariffs, you can blame inflation, you can blame other market factors, but it's all greed. It's all like I guarantee Sony especially, they make enough money they can eat this cost. It's not whatever. But Microsoft has been losing the console race badly for the past 5 years. And unlike with Nintendo back in the Wii U days, when back when the Wii was doing absolutely terrible in its first year, they slashed the price by $50 and also did a bunch of other stuff to try to build goodwill. It ended up working within the Switch. Actually, got it all back. Xbox has now raised all their prices across the board to make up for people not buying the system. So now they're forcing people who want to buy it to pay even more money. That I don't
make any sense.
Therefore is lowering the number of people who are going to buy the system in the first place. I don't understand that business model.
They're just, I mean, they kind of have the whole like, oh, they're gonna buy it anyway mindset, and like,
No, they're not. No, there's
no,
competition.
they're not.
This like all the Xbox loyalists have already got one. And there seems to be an increasingly lower number of Xbox loyalists. Like they've already had 5 years to buy it. Like they wouldn't have.
That's my thing. I'm like, why are you waiting till now? Like, I understand, like, yeah, it's like a whole outside thing. But it's like, bro, like, why are we raising prices still? Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, especially this Game Pass price hike is especially baffling considering just a month later, they actually released the Xbox ROG Ally, which is a little handheld gaming PC device thing to basically try to rival the Switch and the Steam Deck and all those. And it's basically not an Xbox. It's just a ROG Ally with Xbox branding. So like it can play Xbox games that are on the PC version of Xbox Game Pass, and it can like play other PC stuff like Steam and Epic Games Store and other games that are on PC, but games that you have on your console library can't be transferred over because it's not an Xbox console. It's just an Xbox branded handheld PC. It's really confusing, but regardless, the equalizer there would have been just get Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. There you can play, everything. You can stream pretty much everything Game Pass has to offer from both sides. You know, on your ROG Ally X. Um, well, now that you've raised the price $10, I feel like that's going to deter even more people from buying this handheld because now they have to spend even more money on top of the $600 for the base model or $1,000 for the stronger model. I just don't I don't see the vision there.
You're not seeing it?
No, not
It's
really.
right, it's right there. What are you in? Come on.
Like as of right now, in just 1 year, the most expensive version of a Nintendo Switch you can buy is a $500 version with a game, plus let's say $80 for online, and that's just to get started.
Hmm.
The cheapest version of Xbox that you can buy is an Xbox Series S for $400, plus $360 for a year of online just to get started.
Yeah, I hate it because the price of games is going up, but I mean the price of life, I guess, is also going
Mm-hmm.
up. But it's just like, yeah, like you said, it's like clearly they don't need this. They're just doing it because they can.
Yeah.
There is a excuse.
Mm-hmm. And now, like you said, for the record, prices of literally everything is going up. Disney Plus is going up with my next billing cycle. Not a fan of that, but I I like Disney stuff, so I'm gonna keep it. Like I think it's like 150 for the year, somewhere around there. Like it's not great, but like it's fine.
It's
Actually,
like
no,
I'll deal with it for
is
now.
it more than that? It has to be more. Whatever. It's a lot. um, um, but I just don't like. I genuinely would not be shocked if this is the last hurrah for Xbox. Like clearly they're hemorrhaging sales, they're hemorrhaging uh, Game Pass users, which makes them have to raise the price for the people that are sticking around. There's rumors of a new Xbox console coming out next year, which seems really short because like the Xbox One that was around from 2013 all the way till 2020. 7 years. This is going to be only 6. I don't know. That just kind of feels like you're admitting defeat by releasing a new thing that early, and I don't think Sony is going to be releasing one, for the next 2 years at least. So I don't know.
I guess we'll see.
So yeah. Um, but yeah, I currently actually, funnily enough, I have Game Pass, but I have like right before the announcement happened, I actually got like a promotional email that was like get 3 months of Game Pass for free or whatever until the promotion. Okay, so I currently have it for 2-ish more months for free. So, but come December, I'll need to like actually, cancel it, or else I'm spending $360 a year, which I do not need to spend right now. Yeah, like it's one thing for me to keep around like Spotify, which is I think is $13 a month, because that's like what 120, 140 ish a year. I don't know. That's not. I don't. I personally don't think that's too much, especially since I use it most days. Game Pass, I don't really use nearly as much as I thought I would. So yeah, gotta cut that off once it stops being free for me. All right. I think that's everything I want to talk about today. Is there anything else you want to bring up or discuss?
I don't think so. I think we're good.
All right. So with that, we'll see you all next time.
Take care, everyone.